It's Charlton. Please subscribe to my channel, tap that notification bell, and like this video. That helps me to keep making videos, and I would appreciate it majorly. All right, I'm going to give the abbreviated version of this mess that's in my head about Trump and Hillary fixing the 2016 election. I'm pretty sure many people are sick of hearing me talk about this. I don't get a lot of views from it, which I find a little suspicious, but you know, let me start with Trump's tweet that he recently tweeted, which everyone jumped on. And believe me, Trump doesn't make mistakes like this. Everything he does is pretty much intentional. Believe it. And, you know, his tweet where he said, Russia, 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 that's all we heard, you know, when they first started this witch hunt hoax. And he says, Russia's now disappeared because I had nothing to do with Russia helping me get elected. And everyone's like, oh my God, see, he admits that Russia helped him get elected. And I just don't think that that's an accident that he tweeted that. I mean, he wants people to think he colluded with Russia. He's wanted that from the very beginning, even before he became president. At the DNC press conference where he says, Russia, if you're listening, I hope you have, you know, Hillary's 30,000 emails. You'll be mightily rewarded by the press. And he did it again and again and again. Every chance he had when he was on the world stage with Putin or whatever, you know, withholding the interpreter's notes. Or he wanted to make it look suspicious. Which makes me think, because my whole theory is that he does have Hillary's 30,000 emails. In fact, I believe that may have been his inspiration for running for president. He may have had him, you know, years ago in 2014, 2000, you know, I don't know, well, she retired. She stepped down from Secretary of State in 2012. You know, but I don't know that and I've been operating under the assumption that, you know, he got him from Russia. And I do think that Russia did hack the DNC, you know, and podest his emails. Quite possibly. But I don't know that he got Hillary's 30,000 emails, the emails that I believe he basically used to blackmail her into losing on purpose from the Russians. I mean, Russia hasn't benefited from Trump being president at all. In fact, you know, it's been a non-event, totally. I don't know that anybody has benefited, any outside country has benefited, or anybody even likes Trump that much, except for one country, maybe two. And, I mean, part of what made me think of this is because of, you know, Jared Kushner went over to Israel, or not to Israel, he went over to either Bahrain or the UAE, basically to meet with Israelis. And Israelis are meeting, you know, normally they don't meet with, in situations like that outside of their own country. They have in Egypt, I think, before, but I think they're meeting in UAE or Bahrain, one of the two. And Jared Kushner is going to present, you know, a proposal for a Mideast peace plan. I don't know if it's a 1 or 2 state solution. It's not really, but important. But part of what he brought with him a gift to Netanyahu from Trump, and it was a new sort of, I don't know if it's official. They were calling it that in some reports, a new official map of Israel, where it showed the Golan Heights being part of Israel, and it had Donald Trump's signature on there, his signature, and then it had a little arrow with the word "nice" that Donald Trump had handwritten on there in the same marker that he signed with, pointing to the Golan Heights. You know, and you know, I mean, basically that Israel is pretty much the only country that has benefited that greatly from Trump becoming president. And there's instance after instance, whether it's, you know, making Jerusalem the capital of Israel, doing things like unilaterally saying that the Golan Heights, which I don't even know if that's going to stand or not. I mean, they possess the territory. They're there. They militarily control it. I don't know if that's going to stand, but unilaterally saying that that's their land from now on, it just kind of made me think that maybe it wasn't the Russians that provided Hillary's 30,000 emails to Trump. You know, maybe it was the Israelis, man, and that would make a lot more sense, actually. So I don't even know if I'm not sure which version of this video. I've done this a couple times where I just ramble on and on. Florida is an interesting of these. This is. I'd actually written this down here. I meant to bring it home one night so that I could make a video about it, and then I forgot it here. I had to redo the whole thing at home. And this just illustrates how badly Hillary did versus Obama. This is Obama over here in 2012 and Hillary in 2016. And it just shows how poorly she did. It's almost impossible she could do that poorly without doing it intentionally. But the one state where she actually did quite well, and Trump killed it, absolutely killed it, was Florida. I don't know how Trump found the votes he did. And Trump's actually not listed there, but he got like 4.6 million votes, Trump did. Romney got like 4.2 something million, so Trump basically got about 400,000 over Romney, which is massive to begin with. But a lot of Romney's voters, you know, are sort of never Trumpers that would have refused to vote for Trump, kind of like they did in California here, and would have voted for Hillary. So that increase of 400,000 is actually even more, and it's probably more like 600,000. And I was always, I mean, where did he find 600,000 votes? You know, I don't know what the percentage of that is. It's about 18% increase over Romney. But I mean, it's a phenomenal number of votes to just find out of nowhere in one election cycle from the previous election cycle. Maybe it was what I'm just talking about. It's this conspiracy that I'm suggesting. Maybe it was Israel that helped Trump get elected. That's my theory, man. That's my latest theory. You know, recently Ron DeSantis, who became the governor of Florida, and in one of my previous videos, I was talking about that. It was shocked me that he did win. He was down in the polls, similar to the 2016 election, where he was down by 4 to 6% leading into election day. I think it maybe narrowed to 4%, you know, immediately before the election, but he was down handily. I had written it off. I had basically said Florida's lost, and then miraculously, just like in 2016. DeSantis won the race. He's the governor now, obviously. And I was saying in my previous video that, you know, Hillary more or less didn't participate in the midterms. The only campaigning she did was she went to one state. And she did it sort of rather under the radar. It kind of actually just came out, you know, on a national level that she was down there. She's a national figure, but because of the bomb thing, the guy who was mailing bombs, and basically they were trying to find out if Hillary Clinton was home. And Hillary Clinton was in Florida when the guy had mailed the bomb to her home in Chappaqua. It's Chappaqua, I think, New York. So it came out at least on the national level that she was in Florida campaigning for Giller. I think that's a dude's name who was running for governor. So the only state she went to, the state I'm talking about, was Florida. And then recently, Ron DeSantis, you know, he actually did something that was seen as fairly controversial, and it is, you know, no matter what your feelings are on Israel, he flew to Israel to sign some law, signed some law that had recently been passed by the state houses of Florida. And I think it was sort of an anti-hate, a hate crime law that basically, I think it was for, anti-Semitic things and stuff like that. I don't even know the particulars. It's not real important. And some people sued him, said that's illegal, you can't do that. And it was really rather ceremonial anyways. He didn't sign the actual law, because he's not allowed to do that. He has to do that within the confines of the state. He might even have to do that at the state capitol. I'm not real sure. But he brought his whole cabinet to Israel, and actually Sheldon Adelson, the huge casino magnate, massive Republican donor who's worth many, many billions, who's got casinos all over the world, Las Vegas, China, Macau, etc. And he came from absolutely nothing. He accompanied Ron DeSantis to Israel on his trip, him and his wife. He's a huge mega donor. And that was the title, Mega Donors Accompany DeSantis to Israel. And Florida was the home base of the DNC during Hillary Clinton's 2016 election, her campaign, Florida. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who's the congresswoman from Florida, was the head of the DNC. These are all the things that have me thinking that, maybe it wasn't the Russians that provided Trump the emails. Maybe it was Israel. And like I said, I don't even know. I'm not sure if I meant Trump, intentionally. I don't know if I laid this out, and this is 10 minutes. So I think I did. So Trump basically early on, even before she was running for president or him, and I think in her having the emails, let's say he got them from Israel, he thought he could run for president on that. It could actually, as long as he got through the primary, he could basically blackmail her into losing on purpose, which is what I believe he did. But very early on, he let her know that, I've got your emails, and somehow whether it's through some back channel, who knows? Maybe it's Ivanka to Chelsea. But he also, intentionally makes it slip that, that he got it from the Russians. So that when Trump actually started becoming a viable threat in the presidential campaign, Hillary Clinton goes to the Justice Department and basically presses allies she has in the Justice Department, McCabe and many others, from her time in politics in general, being in the State Department on. McCabe is a longtime Clinton ally. And Terry McAuliffe, the former governor of Virginia, who's helped McCabe's wife run for office, a failed bid for state senate. But she goes to the Justice Department to ask them to investigate, to basically open an investigation into him colluding with the Russians. And that's where, maybe it began. But Trump wanted her to do that, because he doesn't want her to believe the real source of where he's getting the emails is Israel. And so he hires all these sort of low-level tier 2 advisors and sets up his own people, maybe even Manafort, possibly. And he's not like a tier 2; he's a high level advisor. Carter Page, who has people who have history with Russia, and then lets the Justice Department run all these things down, which are all fake to begin with, because the real source of him having the emails that he was using to blackmail her to lose the election on purpose was Israel. I mean, that's why Jared Kushner is setting up a back channel to Russia, to make it look like they're colluding with the Russians. Every chance Trump got, he tried to make it look like that. And that's what that tweet is about, too. Trump's first overseas trip at the end of this, when he won, was first to Saudi Arabia and then on to Jerusalem, Israel. I'm just saying, and I think when you have Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, I think her name's Lisa, the two FBI agents, one's an attorney, one's an FBI agent, whatever, McCabe talking about insurance policy, and stuff like that. They never knew that what they didn't count on is that Hillary was going to lose it on purpose. Whether Hillary was at some point becoming complicit with Trump and realized her fate and decided to go along with it, and there was a big payday for her too, and is sowing the political future of her daughter, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. But either way, even if Trump loses the election, say all this is true, and it's probably all not. I mean, there's a lot of ifs here, but let's say all this is true. Even if Trump loses the election, he would own Hillary from that point on. And I really do believe, no matter what, I do believe that Trump, let's say this is all true as well, and that he basically blackmailed Hillary into losing on purpose. I do think that he never, ever expected to do as well as he did. He had no idea all these voters out there in America were going to show up and vote in the numbers that they did. So let's say I'm right, but it turned out he maybe even didn't even need her to lose on purpose or whatever. She did so bad though. It's just impossible. She could have done as badly as she did. So, I don't even know if I mentioned it, but I don't know if any of this is illegal. I don't know if it's illegal to lose an election on purpose. And at some point, what I was saying before, at some point, Hillary maybe understood her fate and understood, I don't know. I mean, this would have been a perfect way to get back at the Republican Party for the independent counsel. Kenneth Starr investigation into the Clinton administration was started with Whitewater, but turned into Monica Lewinsky, and to get back at the Democratic Party for turning their back on Hillary and going with Obama. Believe me, that's I don't know. Another thought. All right, that's the end of this video. Hopefully I summed it up, and that's it. All right, thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below, and I will see you in the next video. I played your game. I played your game. Later, man.